6 days from what is currently set to be the final pay-per-view, either just under the turn or Time Warner ownership or in WCW history in general, every department of the company remains on hold with no new updates of the Eric Bischoff Fusion Media sale. And while internally the pay-per-view marketing department advertises 2 pay-per-views for May 6th and June 10th, no shows are currently scheduled past the March 26th Nitro after the April pay-per-view, and Monday TV tapings were officially cancelled, with Nitro, which again was without Bischoff backstage on the night, started with Jarrett and Dustin in the ring hyping the Flair vs. Rhodes tag match before Flair's group arrived to the building to start a show-long Angle with Buff Bagwell filming a live Ric Flair documentary throughout the night, with Flair in a rare mention of the names bringing up Hogan, Savage and Piper, saying that he outlasted them all and is still running the business, with the announcers playing off the real-life situation, showing 2 empty seats in the crowd waiting for a possible arrival of the new owners, as with the future of WCW under the Turner umbrella in question after the AOL merger. Cable ratings reports for the first quarter of 2001 show that despite Nitro's ratings decline, with its viewership now at a core audience of around a 2.1 rating with close to 3 million viewers, Nitro's figures remain significantly above the majority of other primetime cable programs, which ranged from a 1.7 to 2 rating on all major cable networks including ESPN, CNN, Fox USA Network and TNT itself, and with that, along with the consistency and loyalty of its remaining viewers, still making it a valuable TV program to most networks, if only owning the rights to the Nitro and Thunder TV shows without the issues that come from running the rest of the wrestling company. After being off television for months with the storyline dropped after another change in creative, Stacy Keibler walked out carrying a baby to the ring in reference to the David Flair angle in September to October of last year, as the storyline which Russo heavily hyped when still writing it as head of creative as what he will try to make one of the most memorable in history, including, unlike all other wrestling pregnancies, actually deliver the birth of a baby, with either Ric Flair or Russo scheduled to be revealed as the father. Like many other programs or product directions in WCW over the past 18 months due to constant changes in creative regimes, ended with no real payoff, with Stacy turning heel followed by Booker coming out for a promo minutes from the top of the hour calling out anyone from Flair's group and an open challenge to bring out Scott Steiner and Paige, hyping their pay-per-view title match while setting up Rick vs. Paige for later tonight, with Booker's challenge taken by Lex Luger to start the match in the crossover quarter at 9 p.m., going 6 minutes, with the Booker vs. Luger match opening the opposed hour with a 2 rating, which was also the only segment to get near the 2 rating range on the night. Less than 3 weeks to WrestleMania 17, with the gate approaching record levels on its way to break the Mania 6 Hogan vs. Warrior record at the Toronto Skydome and the pay-per-view targeted to outdraw any show in history, the WWF, coming from the LA market with a sellout of over 15,000 from the Staples Center, was looking to finalize the top matches on the card, with the company uncharacteristically due to different circumstances of late changes and negotiations not having the card announced this close to the show outside of the Rock vs. Austin main event, kicking off Raw with a tag titles match of the Hardys defending against X-Pac and Justin Credible, to end with Albert returning to join Waltman and Credible in a new group, improving over last week's start with a 3.9 rating. After setting up the match last week with another round of one of the most memorable feuds in WCW history, with Flair vs. Rhodes booked for the agreed pay-per-view, Their only appearance on the night building the match came in pre-taped backstage promos with Dusty and Dustin, followed by Flair and Jared hyping the match on Sunday, while Raw got its usual second quarter boost, jumping over 700,000 viewers for new commissioner William Regal coming out for a promo to officially set up a Rock vs. Angle title match for the main event tonight after being asked by Angle for his rematch in the parking lot earlier. Confronted by Chris Jericho to book their place on the WrestleMania card against each other, bumping Raw to a 4.4 rating while Nitro dropped to a 1.6 and settled there with no major changes for the rest of the night. After abruptly quitting the company last week in a unique situation of a top name leaving while being one of the most featured performers all over its programming until hours before resigning, Jerry Lawler further commented on the situation during the week, saying that he was disappointed with the way his departure was handled and can now indirectly relate to Hogan and Bret Hart after seeing a different side of McMahon, hinting at a possible jump, saying that due to not being on the road he watched Nitro for the first time in a while last Monday, while not ruling out a return to the WWF in the future, with him still technically on the company books after not being officially released, including him still getting his last paycheck along with JR contacting him on a possible immediate return. Scott Steiner opened Nitro's final quarter for the final hype promo for his title match against Page on Sunday, promising to take him out like he did the rest of the top babyface group currently on the sidelines, with the main event seeing Page vs. Rick Steiner going 6 minutes with no bump from the record low levels of the past 30 minutes, doing a 1.6 quarter, with Steiner and Flair's group attacking Page in the ring after laying out Booker and Kat in the back, ending the build-up to what is currently officially scheduled to be the final pay-per-view in company history, with Nitro heading into the event remaining at its consistent core audience over the past month with another 2.1 rating. After it looked like the match is being saved for a singles match at WrestleMania in the payoff of the Radicalz split, with Benoit turning on the group to go babyface, Chris Benoit vs. Eddie Guerrero was instead booked on Raw on the night to signal on another direction for the pay-per-view, building up to it in an angle of Benoit taking out the rest of the Radicalz throughout the hour to leave him and Eddie alone in the ring, going 8 minutes with Heyman on commentary putting the strong performance over big as the Benoit-Guerrero match, with Benoit going over to set him up for a potential top babyface run, picking up over 600,000 viewers to a first-hour high 4.9 rating. After strong numbers in the same time slot the past several weeks, Vince McMahon and Trish opened Raw's second hour, coming out seconds from 10 p.m. to follow up on last Monday's Talked About segment, running down the LA crowd, saying that Trish and the people here in Hollywood have a lot in common, as they would do anything for stardom, saying that unlike Hollywood and the WWF, they're not hiding behind the camera but doing everything in front of the crowd, bringing up last Thursday's SmackDown segment, which saw Vince and Trish kissing in front of Linda to hype the follow-up scene to it happening in the ring tonight, followed by the No Chance in Hell theme abruptly starting to bring out Shane McMahon, making his return after months off television to attack Vince and chase him out of the Staples Center, taking Foley's place for the planned WrestleMania match to set up Vince vs. Shane for the event, with the Vince segment again picking up big as perhaps the second biggest selling point heading into the Mania pay-per-view, bumping Raw around 1 million viewers to a quarter-high 5.6 rating. With Vince McMahon over the past week sarcastically advertising a desperate attempt to increase XFL ratings with a skit taking the cameras to the cheerleaders' locker room in a WWF television-like segment during the football broadcast on NBC. The game on Saturday, for the first time since the league debuted, saw its viewership increase from the previous week, seeing Vince in Mr. McMahon mode sending the cameraman into the locker room for the promised skit, with the broadcast drawing around 3.7 million viewers to increase over last Saturday's 3.5 million, with the XFL-related talking points on the night not ending there, as JR and Heyman during Raw's second hour talked about the media's coverage of the games, with JR telling viewers to call and send letters to local sports TV and radio stations in an attempt to increase the coverage for the league, followed by what was originally advertised as a Taker vs Big Show hardcore title match, with Triple H instead attacking Taker backstage to establish their feud as one of the top matches on the WrestleMania card after Taker challenged him on SmackDown, with the confirmation of the match all but putting an end to the rumors of a Hogan return to face Triple H in time for the event, after reports were escalating on talks between Hogan and McMahon on a potential deal, with the other big angle throughout the second hour seeing Steve Austin confronting both Angle and Rock on Deborah's involvement in the main event, which saw another Rock Austin stare down. Two weeks after headlining the No Way Out pay-per-view, Rock and Angle continued to show all-time great chemistry in the ring, putting on another pay-per-view main event caliber performance, going 13 minutes with Rock after dropping the title to Kurt for his first title win at No Mercy in October, putting him over huge again throughout the match, with Angle kicking out of the Rock bottom and People's Elbow combined with Rock tapping to the ankle lock to elevate the move and Angle as a top star to the next level, with the match seeing the rating matching the performance in the ring, jumping over 900,000 viewers to the peak of the night 5.8 rating, the highest rated main event segment of the year so far and the highest on an opposed night in general since October 23, 2000, ending up with Angle attacking Debray to bring out Austin for the save before giving Rock a stunner to up the intensity of the main event build-up 20 days to the match, with Raw on the back of the strong second hour drawing over 6.8 million viewers, with the Vince Shane segment in Rock vs Angle match drawing a month-high 5.4 rating to rebound overall near the 5 rating range.